Hey nerd family, and welcome back to another video. Today we're discussing HBO Max since it's now been out for 2 years. It launched back in May 27th of 2020. So now 2 years old, HBO Max has brought us a lot of great content, although at a very steep cost. It was once one of the most expensive streaming services until Netflix recently went up to their $19.99 for its premium plan. With the recent merger with Discovery, the company is now known as Warner Brothers Discovery. They do have an epic library of content and a massive subscriber base at the moment, as Netflix, once was known as the king of streaming services, is now losing subscribers. So what does this mean for HBO Max's future? Well, before we get into all of that, I'm going to go ahead and roll the intro, and I'll see you back here in a second. Alright guys, welcome back. I hope everyone out there is staying safe and staying healthy. If you haven't already checked out thenerdcircle.com, you can head over there and check it out. You can also follow along on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Nerd Circle. Sometimes we post some things over there if it's not quite time for video just yet, so if you don't want to miss out, make sure to head over there. Make sure to look down in the description. There's going to be a lot of new links coming. We do have a lot of new things going on. The newest thing here is we have Buy Me a Coffee. We did set up that account, so you can head over to buymeacoffee.com/the Nerd Circle. No obligation or commitments there, but if you do want to help out the channel and help us continue to get to where we want to be, then you can, of course, go ahead and donate there. We have some campaigns that are going to be set up, so if you want to check out those campaigns, make sure to head over there. Now, I do want to thank all of our subscribers. If you are a new subscriber since the last video, you will see your name scrolling across the bottom. I want to thank all of our new subscribers as you're helping us continue to grow. Our next milestone is 500 subscribers, and we're definitely on our way there, so thanks again. And you will see your name scrolling across the side for all the subscribers. Again, I want to thank all the subscribers as you're helping us get to where we want to be. If you have not yet subscribed and you'd like to do so, make sure to go ahead and subscribe, so that way you don't miss any of the future content. And if you guys do like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. It definitely helps us out as it lets YouTube know who likes the videos and who to recommend them to next. And make sure to leave any comments, questions, or concerns in the comments down below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look here at HBO Max. Like I said, they've now been out for 2 years, so we're going to kind of take a look and see if it's something that we still think is worth your time and money. But let's get into that. There are a lot of moving parts right now, and a lot of what I'm going to say is technically speculation, or as the lawyers in the Johnny Depp case would say, is hearsay. But I am basing a lot of this on information that we currently have from what the executives over at the Warner Brothers Discovery have said, with a little bit of educated guesstimation in there as well. And with some of the "I hope they do this" thrown in. Now, I'm going to try my best to not repeat too much from the past videos that we've made recently, but there might be a little bit of repeat. But if you do want further information, make sure to check out the past videos we've covered with HBO Max. So let's start with price. So currently HBO Max is at $14.99 for their ad-free version, or $9.99 if you decide to go with ads. Now, you can also currently get it free with some AT&T plans, as I have it free with my AT&T internet. Now, you could argue at the $15 a month, you could probably get a few other smaller services, one of which being Discovery Plus. You could probably throw in Apple TV Plus. I think they're still at the $5 a month. And of course, you could go with the variants of these services that have ads. You could even do the free version of Peacock, and you could do a couple of those things and get yourself to that $15 a month and potentially have a quote-unquote better service with more content. But I still think that HBO themselves puts out a lot of good content. Not just a lot of content, but a lot of good content. Not that all of it's good, but I think most of it is. Now, they haven't made too many changes here to the look and feel of it, so I don't really think I have to cover necessarily the look and feel of the user interface here. If and when they do change that, then of course we'll make a video about that. But if you want to see how everything functions more than what I show you in today's video, then of course you can check out the previous videos that we've covered. We are going to be using it over here on the web today versus over on the Roku TV or any of the other streaming devices there. And since they will be at some point bundling and merging Discovery Plus in here, it is important for us to kind of cover that Discovery Plus is currently $6.99 a month for their ad-free tier and $4.99 a month for their ad tier that they call Ad Lite. Now they do also offer military and student discount plans for $2.99 a month for the Ad Lite version only, and currently Verizon customers can get it free for a certain time frame with certain unlimited plans. Now CNN Plus was already canceled, so we really don't have to factor that price in anymore. But in a little bit here, we will just take a look at what CNN has over here on HBO Max. Now it's also important to know that since they do currently own Cinemax, Cinemax is currently $9.99 a month, but we will get back to a little bit more about Cinemax a little bit later. You can also get channels like Boomerang and a few others on places such as Amazon Channels or from boomerang.com directly, and it goes for around $5.99 a month or $49.99 a year, but I'm not really going to factor those into this equation because it's just too much for us to go over. But this does bring me to my next point. Warner Brothers Discovery did say in statements that they want to trim the fat in the company to obviously save money to hopefully pass on to the consumers, and to also make things easier for the consumers when watching all their different content across all of their brands. This is mainly why they axed CNN Plus in under 30 days. Now it's also important to note that it has been reported recently that they will be halting any new scripted content over on TNT and TBS, which does suck for anyone who likes the current shows that are on there. And at the time of filming this, there are only a handful of current shows currently on either of those channels. They have yet to announce if they will pull the plug on scripted shows over on TruTV, such as Impractical Jokers or Tacoma FD. So for that, we will have to wait and see what happens. Now we will take a look in a little bit over on how you can access TBS, TNT, and TruTV over on HBO Max, so stay tuned for that. Now at this time, it's still unknown exactly what's going on with the sale of CW. But at least as far as right now, we do know that the Warner Brothers Discovery owned content over there, mostly the DC content, a lot of those long-running DC shows have recently been getting canceled, or they have announced their last seasons, some of which are not even getting the chance to write a proper ending, such as shows like Legends of Tomorrow. Now not everything's been canceled just yet, but a good majority has. Some things are still up in the air, and some things are getting renewed, but we don't know if it's going to be their last season. Unfortunately, shows such as Naomi that a lot of people like just got the axe. And if you're into shows such as Legacies, that also got canceled. But we do know that DC themselves has a lot of new shows in the pipeline, but we do suspect that they're going to be coming over to HBO Max as most likely HBO Max originals. But the current DC CW shows that are still going on, we wonder if they're going to be saved and put over to HBO Max, or if they're just going to end those off in the future as well. We do hope they will not be lost and forgotten, but only time will tell. And then of course you do have the CBS owned content over on the CW, but I think that's going to be a whole nother video. Now we haven't seen this happen just yet, but they have also talked about the Magnolia network that's currently over on Discovery Plus shifting over to HBO Max. I'm assuming that it's some sort of a test to see how many people take to it and how many subs that it'll add over to HBO Max. And I'm sure they're also probably testing a few other metrics in there as well. But if they are indeed trimming the fat, as they say, I would hope that they would trim the fat with Cinemax included. Let's get back into that. I once loved Cinemax back in the day when I had cable. They always had a good selection of movies and TV shows, but going back a few years, it did start to become a bit cloudy with all the other streaming. And then if you go 2 years ago when HBO Max launched and they kicked Cinemax to the curb, they announced that they will no longer be making any Cinemax originals, and all the TV series now have already ended. Some of those series you can find over on HBO Max, but others you can only get with a Cinemax subscription. So at the time of filming this, there is currently 10 original series. Now you can subscribe to Cinemax through Prime Video, Hulu, Apple TV, and Roku channels. But there are a few series you can only get through Cinemax Go on their website with a cable subscription, one of which being Outcast Season 2. So besides maybe some movies that Warner Brothers Discovery decides to put only on Cinemax, is there really a point to have Cinemax anymore? Especially at $10 a month. Now I currently still subscribe, but I'm not sure for how much longer. I personally think they should just merge it into HBO Max, sell off whatever they can sell off, and free up some cash flow. Now I'm not really sure how many subscribers they currently have and how much income they would lose from that. But if they can convert all the Cinemax subscribers into HBO Max subscribers by merging the content and offering them a great deal, I do think that that would be the best for everyone. more on that later. So let's go ahead and take a look here at HBO Max over on the web. All right, now right out of the gate, you may see that it is anime. So the month of May is promoting that they have a lot of anime. You can browse the collection. So we can, of course, click more info and just kind of take a quick peek into the anime, because that's one of the things we have discussed in the past, that they did lose Crunchyroll. So, you know, the anime isn't exactly as what it used to be. There's more anime over on Hulu, but we can take a look here. They do have some anime, and since it is the anime collection here, let's take a look and see what we got here, so you guys kind of know what you're in for if you have yet to subscribe for HBO Max. So here is some of the anime essentials. We will just kind of scroll through here. I'm not going to name all of them here, but just to kind of give you a quick idea. Of course, if you want to pause the video and take a further look here, you can. But I definitely see some names jumping out at me here. But I do see, Blade Runner. I do see Full Metal Alchemist. There's a couple other ones I saw here. So they definitely do have some big titles. Let's see if we can get like a A to Z or something here. Let's see what we got here. Now they do have some under the last chance category here. So if you guys want to know what you need to kind of binge before it leaves, that is currently under last chance here. Again, if you guys would like to see a video of how you can catch these before they end and not have to binge them all right away, let me know. I can work on a video here where I can show you guys how you can potentially kind of record some of these and save them for later, so you don't have to sit and binge all of them right away. But let's see. I didn't see like a to Z category here, so let's just do a quick search for anime up top here, and let's see what we get. Well, that didn't really help us. So you can search by animation, but I know when I did that previously, it doesn't just bring up anime, it brings up other cartoons as well. So we can try that. But like as you see, it does bring up other things as well. So it's really not a good way to search for anime. So unfortunately, there's not a huge library of anime over here on HBO Max ever since they lost Crunchyroll. But there is some. It's just not very easy to find. There is no anime genre like there used to be. So it's a little cumbersome to find. So I wouldn't subscribe to HBO Max for your anime fix. That is not what I would do. But you do have some anime if you are currently subscribed to HBO Max or you're thinking about it. You do have some anime options and some big titles in there, just not a huge library. So just kind of keep that in mind there. Here's some things that are just added, so you can kind of take a quick peek at some of the things that were just added here. Not necessarily new stuff, but just added to the service. So let's go ahead and do a quick search here. You can do originals. Now you can do HBO originals or you can do Max originals. So HBO originals, you do have some that are good, of course. HBO is great, but we really want the Max originals because you can find some of those HBO originals without having HBO Max. You can still subscribe through cable, things like that, but you wouldn't get those Max originals unless you have HBO Max. So let's go ahead and take a look at those Max originals. Now, some of them are going to be movies, some of them are going to be series. It doesn't really break it down in here, but you can kind of take a quick scroll through with me and see the Max originals that they currently have. And you could do a Google search. There's a lot of Max originals that they're currently working on. There's one that's going to be coming out in either late 2023 or early 2024 that is, at least it's been greenlit as of now. I don't know if it's going to continue, but it's a Scooby-Doo spin-off where it's made for children, or I guess toddlers is really what you would want to say. So that's something that I heard about the other day that they're working on, so that's kind of cool. And there's a lot of other great Max originals that are in here. I know I bypassed a bunch of them as I was talking, but I know DMZ I heard was good. So Doom Patrol wasn't always a Max original, but it is considered a Max original now. So if you like that, I enjoy Doom Patrol. It's a little weird, but it's definitely a good show. Hacks is a new one. I haven't seen it yet, but there's definitely a lot of good stuff in here. I haven't done Jellystone yet, but it looks pretty funny. I mean, there's a lot. I'm not gonna go through and name every single one of them because they've been pumping out a lot of great content as of recently. And if you haven't seen Flight Attendant yet, you definitely have to see Flight Attendant. I think it's a really good show. I haven't caught season 2 just yet, but I've been setting it to record here. I haven't done Peacemaker, although I really need to. And there is just a lot of great stuff here, and that's currently where it ends, but no shortage of stuff. And like I said, they've got a lot of things in the pipeline. You can also go over here and you can do coming soon, so we can take a look and see what we have coming soon. It's not all going to be Max originals, but it does show you premiering May 30th is the Fantastic Beasts here, so you'll have that coming. We got the Card Counter, the new Father of the Bride. At least I think it's the new one. Let's see. But there's definitely a lot of new stuff coming here. So you guys can head over here and check it out. And it's always good to kind of see what the last chance section has. So at least most of them, if not all of them, are going to be leaving come the end of this month. So if there's something that you want to see and you're not sure if it's going to go to another service, then you definitely want to make sure you get into HBO Max and come watch these titles here. There's going to be a lot of them. I'm going to just kind of do a quick scroll down just so you can kind of see. Of course, if you want to pause it and get a better look here, you can. But if you look at the sidebar, there's a lot of other things you can come in and take a look at. And like I've said in past videos, they do make it pretty easy to find things. It's really the anime that's kind of hard to find. And I'm sure there's some other things that are slightly difficult to find, but anime is the biggest one. But I think it's because they lost so much anime and they no longer have the hub or whatever to find it at here. But they do still have these hubs here, so you know, if you want to do like Cartoonito for the little ones, or if you want to just look for Looney Tunes, Sesame Street, whatever it might be, they do still have these hubs. And of course you got your Max originals there as well. So definitely they make it easy to find stuff. This is where in the future, if they do continue with that Scooby-Doo, this is where we will find it. But if you are wondering, you know, what they have for your little ones, you can kind of break it down by, you know, characters and stuff here. We can go A to Z and kind of take a quick scroll through, and they do actually have a decent amount of stuff. It's not a huge library. I know you could probably binge through these pretty quickly, but they've definitely added stuff since the beginning, and they've got some more on here, and they obviously have plans to keep adding more. So hopefully they keep building out this like toddler section here with Cartoonito. But definitely no shortage of content. Now, one of the somewhat recent changes that they've made, I think it was about a month and a half ago, approximately speaking. It's not on all the shows just yet, and it's only, I think, on the browser. I don't think it's going to be on your app or your TVs. So we're going to use Adventure Time as an example here. But when you go in, you can play Season 1, Episode 1 from the beginning, of course, or you can click the shuffle button. And basically, it's as it says, it's going to shuffle it. So it's just going to play a random episode, and then after that one's over, if you want to continue playing, it's going to play yet another random episode. I haven't tried it. I assume it's just going to keep playing random episode after random episode until you're just done watching. I don't know exactly how it works. I don't really see the need for it. I would probably just start a season at the beginning and just kind of let them play. Even if I was just mindlessly wanting to watch a show or something in the background, I don't necessarily need to hit a shuffle button. But, I mean, I guess for some people it's kind of cool. So it does have that shuffle button over here on the web, so that's something new that they've added somewhat recently. But other than that, there really hasn't been too many big changes. So now, as we discussed in a past video, we know that they did cancel CNN Plus. As of right now, you can still search for CNN over on HBO Max. Let's take a look at what that does. So if you type in CNN up at the top and hit search, this is what you're going to get. So they have a little bit of CNN content, but not a lot. And they no longer have the CNN hub down here like they used to. I don't know if they're planning on putting it back in there. I don't know. There's no real answer as to what they're doing with that yet. I would only like to assume that they are going to be putting it back in there. So that's really all there is to report as far as CNN goes. Now, we also know that they're going to be potentially selling off the CW. That hasn't happened yet, and there's still talks of kind of what's going on, so there's no concrete information. If you want to get a little bit more information, you can look back for the video that I put out with selling the CW. There's a little bit more information in that video, but there's still not any hard concrete information just yet, so there's really not too much to update on there. But they did cancel a lot of the shows. They've even canceled more since what I put into that last video. They've canceled more DC shows and a few other shows as well. So unfortunately, they did cancel Naomi for all of us that like Naomi. They also canceled Legacies if anyone was into that. And there's a bunch of other ones that they canceled. It seems as though they're still on somewhat of a cancel spree. They did renew a couple shows, probably for their last seasons or something like that, and kind of waiting for everything to go through. So unfortunately, there's still no concrete information as to what's happening, but it seems as though they're just kind of canceling a lot of the shows. So that way, when the sale of the CW goes through, then DC can kind of take their shows and CBS can take their shows and just kind of do their own thing. Time will tell. We'll have more information as soon as we can. But what I did want to show you is the channels that they currently own, such as TBS, TNT, TruTV. So what I wanted to show you is what happens when you search for those over here, and hopefully we'll be able to get more and more of the back library of the TNT, TBS, and TruTV over here in the future. But let's just see what we actually get for now. So if you go to the search box, you can type in TNT, and this is what you're going to see. So there's obviously a lot bigger library of stuff over on TNT, and you have to either have cable or maybe find some of it elsewhere on Hulu or wherever else that a certain show may be. But this is what you can currently get for TNT over here on HBO Max. Like I said, hopefully they'll be adding more of a back library in the future when they decide that they're not making new stuff. Hopefully we'll be able to find the old stuff over here. But that's TNT. You can also search TBS, and it looks like maybe one more show, but this is what you're going to find if you're a TBS fan and you like those shows. You can find that stuff over here. Again, not the full library. Hopefully they add to it over time here, because their goal, at least is what they're saying right now, is to kind of make everything easier and have one place to find everything, which is great for us as a consumer. So hopefully it's going to become easier, as they say. And the last one we want to take a look at is TruTV. So type in TruTV, and here we go. Now the biggest things over on TruTV, of course, is going to be Impractical Jokers and Tacoma FD. Obviously you have a lot of these other things that you're seeing here, but those are going to be some of their bigger things that right now are kind of up in the air if they're going to continue them or not. They haven't really said anything just yet. Maybe they'll work it where they can kind of move these over to HBO Max. I mean, who knows? They do own the channels. They own TruTV and TBS and TNT, versus where the CW is only half owned by them. So hopefully they'll be able to kind of take these and merge them in and have it easier for you to find those shows if you don't have cable. But you can see that there's a lot bigger library over here for TruTV, but again, not the full library. So hopefully we will get more and more of that back content as time goes on. I would like to see, I know it could get a bit messy with them having a lot of channels with the Discovery Plus merger, but I would like to see more of the hubs. Even if there's another way to kind of break it down and have like sub hubs, if you will. Since you don't see TNT or TBS or TruTV you would have to know to type those in, or know the show, of course, that you're looking for to be able to find it. It would be much easier if there was a TNT, TBS, TruTV, or whatever it may be, CW, whatever it is, if you had the hub for it. I personally think that would be much easier, but having all the different channels they're going to be bringing from Discovery, there would be a lot of hubs. So you guys let me know down below if that's something you think that they should do or could do, or if you think having like some sub hubs potentially would work. But I think having the hubs is a little bit easier to search for, but that's my personal opinion. Now, one of the other things to discuss here is how is the content from Discovery Plus and HBO Max going to merge together? Will it mix well? Now, I think there is a lot of content, and a lot of very different content from both Discovery Plus and HBO Max. And I do think that there are some Discovery Plus subscribers that may not care for the HBO Max content, and vice versa. So it might be hard to convince those people to buy into a more expensive platform that houses all of it, but I think if they are strategic, they can do it. Unfortunately, there's no way to make everyone happy, but I think they can find a way to make the majority of people happy. And now for those of us that are like myself that already subscribe to both services, I do think it will make it easier just to have one service with everything in it. But the one downfall being that right now, if you have two services, you can technically unsubscribe from one or the other and save yourself a little bit of money for a few months. Unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to do that when everything's under one roof, but it may not matter if you get everything for a great deal. And also for those like myself that subscribe to Discovery Plus, HBO Max, and Cinemax, if they merge Cinemax in for no added cost or for a very minimal cost because it's practically a dead service at this time, I think that's just a win-win-win. But I personally am getting HBO Max for free with AT&T at the moment, so I do fear that I will lose that at one point in time, and at that point I will be forced to most likely drop Cinemax at the time, so I can recoup some of those increases back into my pocket. And now with the talk of the bundling here in the near future before everything gets merged into one platform, we can make a few speculations on some of the prices. So stick with me here. So for the ad-free version of Discovery Plus and HBO Max combined, right now that would be a cost of $21.98, which would put them higher than Netflix's recent price increase on the current premium plan. Now forget the fact for a moment that I do get HBO Max for free, because even if I didn't get it for free, I would be paying for it right now. I just may have to trim the fat on some other services, one of them mainly being Cinemax. But I do know that the $21.98 is what I would be paying for both services. But just seeing that price and knowing that it's more expensive than the premium Netflix just sounds awfully expensive. And I have stated in previous videos that if Netflix ever does hit the $22 price point, that they would have to offer me something major to keep me, otherwise I would be canceling. Now again, I also do get Netflix for free through T-Mobile. Now that is all besides the point. I do think that that's just an expensive price to pay for one streaming service. So if it came down to it, would I sacrifice Netflix for the new HBO Max? I think I might, because I personally think that there's more over here currently on HBO Max, and if you start bundling in Discovery Plus and whatever else comes in the future, I definitely think it could be better than Netflix. And unfortunately, I think Netflix is kind of going downhill. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. But now I do hope that at least out of the gate that HBO Max would offer some steep discounts for their bundling options. We all know that at some point they will have to have some price hikes, but if they can trim the fat good enough and keep the cost low for us for the foreseeable future, maybe in the 2 to 3 years when we finally get everyone hooked on board, then they can start raising the price by like $1 each year, similar to how Netflix is doing it. And they can hopefully find a way to sweeten the pot every time they do that increase. Maybe something like add a hub or add, new shows or something at every time they do the increase. So that way all the consumers that are purchasing can see the value. Now, I also think that they'd be wise out of the gate to price themselves lower than some of their competition. So as an example, if they can price themselves at or under Netflix to really compete with them, I think that would be very wise of them. Even if they do have more content, I think some people are just going to see dollar signs, not necessarily what content they're getting for those dollars. So again, stick with me here. Here's what I think they should do. I think first merge in Cinemax as I previously stated, and add a Cinemax hub, even if it's just a temporary hub, just to make your diehard Cinemax fans feel at home when they come over. Offer those Cinemax customers a great deal for HBO Max commercial free for the same $9.99 that they're currently paying. So that way it's a no-brainer for them to come right over. And of course, for someone who subscribes to both HBO Max and Cinemax, then of course they're going to save that $9.99 a month and have all that Cinemax content over here on HBO Max. But then they will hopefully take that money and put it into what could be the new HBO Max bundle with Discovery Plus. And then let's just say they have that bundle come in at $19.98 a month. That's a $2 a month savings from paying for both of them separate right now. And it's a penny cheaper per month than what Netflix is charging for their premium plan. And I think that if they do that, they should really push a category of not on Netflix really hard on HBO Max to just really put the screws to Netflix and really get people to come on over. If it's priced cheaper, has more content, and has a not on Netflix section, that might be just enough. And at the same token of doing this, they're also going to be coming in under the price of the Disney Plus bundle as well. And if they want to continue putting the screws to Netflix, Disney, Hulu, and Paramount Plus, then they should really offer a yearly price of only $149.98. I know that's a really great value, and they may or may not be able to do that, but it's a penny cheaper than the yearly price of the Showtime and Paramount Plus ad-free bundle. So they're really going to be taking out those top-tier streaming services, even if they only do this for a couple of years. Now, there are a few things that they're not going to be able to compete with. Let's discuss those real quick. So they won't really be able to compete with Apple TV Plus. Unfortunately, it's just too good of a price, but I really don't feel that they're really a competitor yet. They do have a lot of great content, but they're just not quite there yet. So I don't think that they really have anything to fear with that, but they're definitely not going to be able to beat them in price. They also aren't going to be able to beat the Amazon Prime in price, which is currently priced at $8.99 a month by itself, or $11.58 a month bundled with Amazon Prime. Now, Amazon Prime Video is becoming better and having a lot more stuff on there, especially with the new merger with MGM. But again, I don't feel it's a strong contender as much as what the new HBO Max is going to have. And the other one they're really not going to be able to compete with is going to be the Peacock Premium. Because with the ad-free, paid annually, that's going to break down to $8.33 a month. But again, Peacock's great, but I don't feel it's on the same level, at least not as of right now. So I don't think they have anything to fear with that. I still think that they're going to still stand, at the top with all the content that HBO Max is going to have. So I think at least beating out Netflix, Paramount Plus, Disney, and Hulu is really more important right now than it is to beat out Apple, Prime Video, and Peacock. I feel that those are a little bit more of the budget-friendly services. And we all know you get what you pay for. And as I previously stated, if they do yearly price increases of, like $1 or whatever a month every year, then I think that they will eventually get to that higher price point. But as long as they're adding things every time they do that price increase, it's going to make people want to stick around until they hit that price that people just aren't going to want to pay. So if they, go up by a couple dollars in the next couple of years, it'll probably be okay. But they want to find what that happy medium is and not go over that. And it wouldn't hurt if they throw in some special promotions when they know that they are going to be raising their prices. Throw out promotions for people who are on the monthly plan to go ahead and upgrade to a yearly plan, or lock in for a certain amount of months or for a year up front and get it at a cheaper price before that price increase changes. I think that would definitely be great options to be able to keep people subscribed. All right, we've covered a lot of price here, and I hope I didn't lose anybody there, but I do want to cover one more thing here. And a lot of people say that the HBO Max application is buggy. Now, I myself have not experienced this, but I do think that if it's buggy for a lot of people, that is something they need to work on, especially if HBO Max is going to become a bigger brand and have a lot more subscribers, more people using the service. They need to make it actually function properly and not be buggy for people. So whatever these bottlenecks are that's causing this to happen, I definitely think they need to fix those before they combine everything all together. And now I'm okay with the current look and feel of HBO Max. I think it's easy enough to use, but I do think that they could improve on it. Now, I'm not going to say that Discovery Plus is perfect in any regard, but I do think that they can take a little bit of Discovery Plus's user interface and kind of mix it in with HBO Max and kind of get the best of both worlds. Now, we did talk about maybe they can have some kind of sub-hubs. I don't know if that's something that would work, but definitely let me know your thoughts down below. If you think it would just be easier to have a bunch of hubs for all the different channels to make it easier and more aesthetically pleasing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I do think they just need to make it a very clean and easy to use service where it's easy to find things and doesn't have lag or any of this stuff that people are saying is very buggy for them. So anyways, I'm very excited to see where the next few weeks and months take us, but I'm also very nervous to see where the prices are going to go. Hopefully some of the things that we've talked about come true, but only time will tell. I will certainly be keeping my eye on everything here, so stay tuned for more HBO Max related videos, and make sure to keep an eye on our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Nerd Circle, where we may post some things before it's time to make the next video. I know there was a lot in this video, and I really hope you guys stuck with me. Hopefully I was able to break it down good enough, and hopefully some of my things with the prices make sense. Let me know your thoughts down below. And also let me know down below, no matter which way they do it, when everything is merged in, is there a max price, no pun intended, that you're going to tap out at? What is the highest price you would pay for the new HBO Max with all of their stuff under one roof? Alright guys, but that's all we got here for the HBO Max 2-year update here. I definitely think that in the coming weeks, coming months, we're going to see a lot more things, so make sure to stay tuned. As soon as there's enough information to make another video, of course, I'll make sure to put another video out, but I'll probably be sharing and posting a lot of things over on social media with just kind of things happening day by day. So make sure to follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Nerd Circle so you don't miss any of those posts there. But I do hope you guys got something out of this video. Hopefully you kind of saw, where HBO Max is currently sitting and if it's something that you're willing to subscribe to as of right now, if it was something that you were on the fence about. If there's anything I forgot to mention, of course, I'll leave it in the description down below. You'll also find a lot of other great links in there too, so make sure to not miss those. If there's anything you noticed that I forgot, please make sure to leave it in the comments down below. There's a lot of new things going on here, and I'm putting out videos as much as I can, so make sure to stay tuned for more. If you guys did like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. It definitely helps us out as it lets YouTube know who likes the videos and who to recommend them to next. And if you have yet to subscribe and you'd like to do so, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell so you get notified of any new videos to come out. You can also follow the links on the screen to the older videos. And until next time, guys, stay